Good morning, hello, and happy Friday. It's always nice to be a Friday, and it's always fun to be doing sort of more DevOpsy things. We are continuing to work on getting a database set up, getting Hasura set up locally for development purposes, and basically transitioning the data that we're getting for this into a real call that we do it to a real database and a real API. It's going to be nice. So yesterday, we got a database up and running, and that was pretty much it. So I believe what we have is we have a database section. Inside we have a compose.yaml, and we've got our Postgres database sort of going in here. We also have an init.sql, which creates this this sort of initial table. We could also initialize some data in here for ourselves and get that going as well. So I'm thinking about starting with this, getting this going. Once we have maybe like, I don't know, two of these in here, then we could work on getting Hasura set up for a GraphQL API. Let's see. So I want to do an insert into. So we have three things. We have tag. Okay, so I'm gonna need. Well, courses can happen at any time. Tags can happen at any time, and then course tags has to be after that. So let's insert into courses. I think it's this, and we're gonna do we don't do the ID because that's gonna be auto incrementing. So we'll have a title, description, and an access level. Values, I think is this a square bracket? I forget. Or is it like this, where it's then one for each of these? So I do title, 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 and then at the very end we just do a semicolon. Maybe this one? Okay, let's try. All right, so first title, we can just go with our design here. We can do the most recent one. So introduction to u.rs. Description. And then the access level, and this is public. Okay. All right, second one. So improve your Rust skills by making an ECS. And you are also public. Okay. So I think if I just do that, that should insert. And we can get some feedback on this by just trying this right away. So let's start with Docker volume, remove that. Oh, you're in use. Docker compose down. Oh yeah, look at that. Insert 02. So that inserted 2 of these. I should be able to docker compose exec and there we go. So we see in courses, we have our introduction to U.RS, we have our improved Rust skills, we have the description, and we have that access level. So excellent. So that's working. Next up is going to be the tags. Insert into tags. We want just the name. So in this case, we're gonna have Rust. Now, do I want this to be uppercase included or lowercase? So when we get the tags, it's a vec of this tag, which I want to, yeah, with an uppercase Rust. Okay. I think uppercase is fine. So let's do Rust. Let's see, what else do we have? Nothing inside of here, so then we'll do U. Okay, now this is going to be interesting. We want to insert using the course ID. We're going to have to do some subqueries here. To get the ID. So it's going to be insert into course tags. We're going to want course ID. Tag ID. All right, so for the course ID, if we're doing this first one here, introduction to U.RS, I need the ID, so I think I can do a subquery and do select ID. Courses where the title is equal to that. So that way I don't have to worry about like, hey, did I like just rerun this thing? Does it really have like, starting at 1? I just don't have to worry about that. So okay, there's that one, and then the second one is going to be select another subquery, select ID from tags where name, and this is okay. So for this one, it's gonna be Rust and U. So Rust. Okay, so it's gonna be the same introduction to U.RS, and you're gonna be U. And then the next one's going to be this title. And you're just going to be Rust. Okay, let's see if that's worked. Okay, so it inserted all three there, so that should be fine. Then we can join again. Okay, so what I should be able to do then is create a SQL statement and then join in the what is it called? Join in the tags and all that stuff. So if I do it's like select, let's get the title and then the tags because the descriptions are long, so we don't need that. So let's do select title and then the name of the tag from yeah, and I don't need the idle, so I just need select title name from we'll start with courses, join in it's called course tags on course tags dot let's see, course ID equal to ID. I think this is gonna, okay, I need to do courses.id here. And then I also need to join tags on tags.id is equal to I guess tag ID. That should figure out which one that one is. And then, okay, so where. Actually, I don't need to do a where. I just want them all. So if you give me that. Here we can see introduction to u.rs. We have two entries in here because we have two tags, the Rust and u. And then improve your Rust skills by making ECS is Rust here. Awesome, perfect. So that seems to be working exactly as expected. Let us continue. By now making our GraphQL API. I'm almost going to change this around. I kind of like the idea of having like image at the top. I don't know why I like health check at the bottom. Environment next to the bottom. And then sort of the rest of them I don't really care that much. Okay, image. This is, so we need to go find Hasura GraphQL engine, and it's by Hasura. I've used this actually quite a few times. Midtro, hello, good morning. So we're gonna bring you in, and then the actual latest one for this is fine. Expose. What port are you exposing this on? 8080, which is going to be interesting because my app is running on 8080. So this is actually one of the benefits of using something like Docker for this is they could run on 8080 all they want. I'm going to now say 8081 is going to be my Hasura, but inside you're still 8080. Okay. Then we'll have, do I need volumes on this? I don't think I do. So we're gonna then go to environment. Okay, so, we need a connection string to the database URL. So connection strings sort of look like this. So we'll do Postgres : / username is Postgres, password is this keyboard cat, host name is database, port is 5432, and database name is Postgres. In this case, this will obviously have to be very different for production, but this entire compose file is for dev anyways. Okay. Oh, enable the console. This should be true. Okay. We also might want to set an admin secret, which I'm fine with also setting this to be keyboard cat for this. Keyboard cat. Run Docker Compose up, wait for it to initialize completely. Okay, so then we do need to wait for. So I think that's a depends on. Yeah, depends on database. And this is where that health check comes in, because it needs to be running fully before it starts this. And that's it. Okay, let's see if we can get this running. So you're good here. Oh, I need to go down for it too. Docker goes down. Oh, you know what would be really helpful? If I save the document. There we go. So now it's bringing up our GraphQL API. We're getting this root role does not exist again, which we hadn't got before. So I wonder if database shouldn't be connecting to it as like user root. We did tell it to try to connect in via Postgres. Let's try to connect to this. This is 8081. Unable to connect. So Yeah, okay, so what happened? So database system is ready to accept connections. Admin secret set true. Port 8080 internally. Okay. We can also take a log specifically for those. So let's do Docker compose PS. These are, we have GraphQL API. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, look at that. Ports is not exposed for GraphQL API. So I have expose. Oh, do I need this to be like a string? Okay. Yeah, I was wondering whether or not the database was going to start complaining about that again. But okay, so now if we look at this again, no, it's still not showing up on this port. Let's see if we can take a look at the logs. Let's do Docker compose logs GraphQL API. Docker. Is it just Docker logs? Not whatever that is. Docker logs. So restarted. Okay, so okay, so connect to this 5432. Okay, so go into there. Still not showing a port. I wonder if I need to expose internally the ports for that. Usually in the past I haven't had to. Also, this documentation does show how to use it like in here. Although they haven't updated it in a while, so this could be wrong now. Now this one's interesting. They have restore always on it. Oh, and yours is quote true? and then restore always. Oh no, okay. Oops. And then, well, yeah, so the alias you set this command to be of doesn't exist, which apparently I created. I was in the middle of creating that command and then didn't. Hold on, let me fix that really quickly. So this is, what is that? I have to log in again. Oh nope, I'm already logged in. Where's my hands custom? Yeah, I don't. What did you ask for? You did project. I have a project command. Oh, okay. I think I didn't understand what that was. I was trying to say like, hey, if you did the project, it would do this thing. Okay, let's try that. Project. Yeah, so we're building a platform for this. It's in Rust, it's in U, and we're setting up database type stuff right now. So I'm a really big fan of Hasura for a GraphQL API, so we're trying to set this up. But what's going on right now is we're trying to set up a GraphQL API for a local dev database, and having a little bit of trouble getting that going. This happens every time. Like every time I jump into oh wait, is it exposed or is it ports exposed to the other services but not to the host machine? Oh, so I don't want exposed. Okay, hold on. That's our problem. Ports 80, 81, 80, 80. That's okay. I think that's what our problem really is. I used the wrong command, not expose. Okay, so that's down and up you again. I'm still getting that role root does not exist. Is that my health check? I'm wondering if that's like the PG is ready is like, is it trying to do this as root? Environment variable has not a valid Boolean text. True values, true T, yes, Y, falsify. Okay, so it didn't like this. That looks a lot better. Okay, so now if I head back over to here, hit refresh, and we are in. We have save. All right, so if you've not used GraphQL or you haven't used Hasura, but you have used GraphQL, there's some fun sort of like things that you can do here. So this is, first of all, this is an open source project. As you can see, we just can use Docker with it. You could also just go into GitHub, grab their source code, and just run it yourself. They make money by doing the self-hosted system, so sort of like pretty standard for a lot of these open source projects. You could run it for free if you self-host, or otherwise you can have them host it and them take care of it all, and it costs you well, significantly more money than free, but then you don't have to worry about it. So there's no data available to me over here, so I have to come into data. I come into the public schema, and I can track all the tables. Once I track the tables, it auto finds these relationships. And so I track all those. And then we can come back here and bam, I've got a GraphQL API of Postgres. So it just sort of auto figures everything out. So if I want to do the exact same query that I did before, let's do, this is going to be query list courses. So I want courses. I want the title. And then in here, I want the course tags. Tag name. Okay, so for every title, give me the name like this. If I run U, here we can see introduction to U.RS. We have Rust and U. So pretty nice query to be able to get this type of stuff out. And then I can turn this into a struct, sort of like to grab that out at runtime in the front end. So that's the super basic of it. Okay, so now there's these. Course tags aggregate, which I haven't played with those. I don't necessarily know exactly what those are. So if I remove you. Oh yeah, I don't want to like bring it all, like count them or do other stuff to them. Although that could be interesting to do. Josh Finney, hello. Yes, this entire interface is all part of Hasura. So yeah, it's a super nice. It is a very nice interface, and it doesn't need to like store any data itself. It just basically becomes an interface, and it stores all the data inside of the Postgres database itself. So there's a metadata table in there now that Hasura uses to sort of track things, and that's where state goes. So I can delete and redeploy Hasura like a whole bunch of times, and it doesn't really care. Okay, so we now have this. The next step, connecting to this is really easy. We're going to use a post request to their endpoint, content type application JSON, and then Hasura admin secret. And then this secret is that same keyboard cat that I set, which of course I could change. And I could also require different headers too, which could be used for role-based stuff. So which we'll be doing for production things. For public stuff like this, it's not going to really matter that much, but I'm not going to want like this Hasura admin secret. Like if I remove you, it's like telling me, hey, you can't do this at all. But if I want this to be publicly accessible, as in you're not even logged in, there's a way for us to set that up. So I want courses, permissions. Okay, so we have role admin lets anything in. Rug Matt, hello. Can I do like role public? To insert roles, so role insert permission, no access. Oh yeah, insert, no access. Select. I want you to be able to get the I can't do those. Oh. Public. Do I need to create the public role somewhere else? Oh. Oh, yeah, it's found. I need this key in here, maybe? Wait, I have the key in here. Hasura is really cool. I still like I'm a beginner at like this side of stuff, but it's really nice. All right, so let's try this again. Permissions. What I really want to be able to do is say like, hey, anyone can do a select on this and get these, but you're not letting me do this. So I want this to be no access. Like I want that. That's fine. Column select. Set row. Set row permissions first. I want you to be no access. They need to select a row. Let's see, what are you yelling at me about? Choose columns allowed to be selected. Oh, wait, choose the columns? Public. So I want to select. So choose columns allowed to be selected. Yes, I want them to be able to select title, ID, description, and access level. But set row permissions first. So row select permissions. Yes, okay, so allow role public to select roles without any checks. So it can just get these. And then allow them to select title, ID, description, and access level. So you can see which ones you need. I could allow them to make aggregate, but no. Okay, so select this. Okay, so public can do these. Update no access, delete no access. All they can do is that. Now what I really want to be able to do is now turn this off and like still see like this. But I need to remember how to do roles inside of here. So, okay, auth. Like, where do I set the role? Oh, examples, anonymous, a not logged in user. Okay, so that's what I want to set, anonymous. How do I tell it that it's anonymous? Your authentication service is required to pass a user's role information in the form of session variables like Hasura role, etc. More often than not, you'll need to pass user information for your access control use cases like Hasura user ID to build permission rules. Right. I want anonymous. Go to this page. I want you to show me how to do well, that's fine. I want to set anonymous for this. Oh, what happened? Bugmat, you got hit with a link. Or by the link bot. Let's see what link that was. Unauthenticated access. Also, I need to whitelist Hasura, essentially Hasura IO. Sorry about that. Hold on. Let me whitelist that really quickly. Okay, so that's added in there. You should be able to resend that link, and it should work now. That being said, I could also just grab it from the logs here. Unauthenticated public access. Okay, so it's a common requirement to have requests which are accessible to all users without the need. Yep. Once you have configured admin secret by default, it will reject any unauthenticated request it receives. You can configure Hasura GraphQL engine to allow access to unauthenticated users by defining a specific role, which will be set for all unauthenticated requests. Right. Okay, so we do that there. You can use the environment variable Hasura GraphQL unauthorized role to set this up. Okay, this is what we want. So we need to add you in. So this is going to have to be something in our deployed system too. So inside of here, the unauthorized role, we can make this anonymous. Is that how to spell it? Anonymous? Yeah, I think so. Okay, so I set this up here. We're going to kill you. I could have done a restart, I think. I always forget what, like, if I need to like do a full out. Did I call it public? I might need to call it public. I was thinking of changing it here to just anonymous, because that also works. But yeah, you know what? Public makes sense to me. sometimes, like, I've had public is also easier to spell. That is very true. So sometimes I had weird issues where I've just done like the restart command and it didn't see the changes. Maybe that's just me being weird and crazy, or maybe I don't know. But let's head back into here. So okay, hit refresh. It uses cookies to sort of remember who I am. So everything is up and running here. And it remembers the metadata because it knows where I'm storing that. So, okay, so we're gonna go back to courses, permissions. Here's this public and select on, without any checks, all columns. And so, okay, course tags, I want you to be permissions, select, without any checks, course ID and tag ID. Hedgen, rating with a party of 9. Welcome, 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 Hedgen. What were we working on today? Was it in like the past couple weeks? I saw your stream was like either working on like game dev, or you were playing community games from the game jams that you were sort of setting up and running. Oh, you got to run. Well, thank you for the raid again, and have a good rest of your day. Everyone else, we are working on probably something less fun than game dev, but we're still Rust based, or at least mostly nominally Rust based. We're currently in sort of like a DevOps state right now where we're setting up database stuff for ourselves, and we're going to be using GraphQL. But the big project is right here. We have a Rust-based web application. It's built in U.rs, which is a front-end framework. Basically, all this code is written in Rust, HTML and CSS. It then gets compiled into WebAssembly and sent up to the front end here. And all of this data right now is hard-coded in our components. And I want to switch that around to do an API call to an actual database. So we set up a database in Docker. So we have Postgres running. And then we're also just setting up Hasura. Hasura is going to be our GraphQL API that sits on top of Postgres and provides us this interface here. So we're doing some permissions where anybody can request access to specific information. So in this case, public can access without any checks the course ID and tag ID. And let's see, that's course tags, courses, and then tags. I want to do the same thing. So public can, without any checks, get the name and the ID. And so if I come over here and I remove Hasura admin secrets, we can now see all the same data. I don't want aggregate. I can't do this. So I want course tags. I want tag and the name. And I can still run this without any authentication in my headers. So this will be perfect for sort of getting going with. And then we'll make it like inserts require us to have some kind of authentication set up. Okay, so that's it there. We can now start working on figuring out how to do the request to Hasura from the API. So in our platform web, we have source, API, courses. Right now we can see I have this get courses function, and right now it's just returning hard-coded course data. And so I want this to include like the title, description, tags, the video UI. Okay, I want this to actually return a course like this. So, that being said, we'll throw a to-do in here, and there's a couple ways that we can do this. I could just create this myself and just build out the query in the string format. That's fine. I want to say though that there's probably a GraphQL crate that we can use, and I think we've looked at them before. So there's GraphQL client here. A typed GraphQL library, client library for Rust. Does all the fun things. Works in the browser with WebAssembly. Optional request-based client for boilerplate free API calls from browsers. Well, that might be helpful. In order to provide precise types for response, GraphQL client needs to read the query and the schema at compile time. To download the schema, you have... Oh, right. I think we have used this library before. I vaguely remember us using the CLI, which I think I have installed. The schema is printed to standard out. So GraphQL client. Let's see... This would not be in database. We're going to go into platform web. Where do I put that? Well, I could just do help with this. So... Yeah, okay, so I have this. All right, so GraphQL client, subcommand. Okay, so we want to... Well, there's generate, but I don't think that's right. What does generate do? GraphQL client generate flags options, query path, schema path. It just says we need the schema. And then we're going to tell it exactly where the schema goes, which is going to be this .graphql file. Okay. So, and that can be outside of the source file. Probably outside of source if it's going to be done at compile time. Because everything inside of source is going to be sent to the browser. So I don't want it in there. All right, so let's create database schema, or let's just create a database sort of folder in here. We use our GraphQL client. introspect schema. Okay, so we have the authorization. Okay, so I have to set authorization in a command line where I type that in. That would suck. That's gonna suck for. Well, is it gonna suck for reality? Not really, because if I make sure that dev and production are exactly the same, then this isn't gonna be a problem. Sets the contents of authorization header or set specific custom header. So we're gonna have to do custom header. So headers. So we need to use this one. That. And this is keyboard cat. I wonder if it's gonna put in the content type automatically. Output, where to write the JSON for the introspected schema. Okay, so let's do output, and we'll put this into, I guess like database.graphql. Yeah. Oh, schema.graphql probably. The following required arguments were not provided. Oh, the schema location. Okay. And you want that to be before the dash header. So that's what? HTTP localhost 8081. Oh wait, no. No. It's this thing. Which is close. It's okay. And here's our schema. Okay. We now have everything we need to derive Rust types for our query. This is achieved through a procedural macro as in the following snippet. So use, okay, so we have all this stuff. The paths are relative to the directory. Okay, the paths are relative to the directory cargo.toml. Both JSON and GraphQL schema languages supported as source. So we can put our queries in that same sort of file too. Okay, so inside of database here, we're gonna do queries.graphql. No. This goes into my source code. You are literally just the query. You're going to show me what the query document looks like? Let's see if I can go find examples. Oh, they have an example for Hasura. That's awesome. Okay, example. Okay, so we have query here. Okay, so that's pretty simple. We just literally have just a normal query like this. So we do query. This would be something like list courses. I should actually be able to grab. There we go. So list courses is going to give me a courses title, the title of the course tags, the tag name. Okay, so you're happy here, which means now we go back to our API. And so we do this. Derive GraphQL query. GraphQL, so schema path, query path, response drives, debug, normalization, Rust. Oh, and then the struct, which they call upsert issue, which is this. Okay, it wants to be snake case. So if I throw you in here like that. Okay, so this is going to be so in database, queries.graphql. Nope, that's the schema. Schema.graphql. Query path is database queries.graphql. Response derives debug, normalization Rust, struct. Okay, so queries, let's do list courses. Okay. Oh, I need to add this in. So I think you're just GraphQL client, right? Yeah, GraphQL _ client. Now we could add in request, which might be really nice. Right now, that feature is not added in for us. Okay, so got you. Let's see what's next. We're going to perform the query. Oh, we taken any potential variables for this. That's going to be another thing in the future that we might have to deal with. Okay, so we're going to build the query. So union query, build query, and pass it in the variables. And the variables are empty right now. So union query, build query. Okay, so import you. Where do you fail to expected schema extend scalar type interface union enum input or directive? Schema path equals schema. So hold on. So schema.graphql. So we have that. Schema path equals database schema .graphql. Okay. Query path is that. Let's see. It's not something like worrying about that. I think it can't read the schema for some reason. So the generate GraphQL. Okay. Do you want me to do the other command? The generate command? Hold on. Let's cd back into database again. So we did this introspect schema. I wonder if you want me to be a generate command instead. So generate flags, options, query path, schema path. Oh, okay, never mind. So that was creating a schema. So that should be happy then, right? Let's see, we have you. I have you. So, like, these schemas are so crazy huge. This is, so cargo toml is in here, which then I go into database and find that. So that all makes sense. Parser error, schema parse error at 1.1. Unexpected punctuator. Expected schema extend scalar type interface union enum input or directive. Is that here? not seeing that specific error message in here. Wonder if I'm gonna have to. Not found the super. Can I find type your? Okay, so that it's not the same error. Okay, so if I've saved you, so I should be able to also go take a look at yeah, so it is a real error. So it's not like it's just Rust Analyzer yelling at me. So unexpected punctuator. Unexpected punctuator. Not seeing that punctuator. Yeah, I'm not seeing this anywhere. Wigiller, hello. I don't know if I pronounced your username correctly, but hello regardless. Let's see. What does? Okay, so we have these examples, and they do have the Hasura one here. Take a look at the schema in here. So, oh, this starts with just schema like this. Oh, that's very different than ours, looks like. Oh. Okay, well. I can also, I believe, go to Hasura and can I export? Oh, I can export the metadata, but I don't think I can export the schema. But you got ASD printable for your programming language in Rust, and you're very happy about it. Awesome! Well, that's great. I don't know if I've done AST. Let's see. Oh, inherited roles will combine the permissions of two more roles. That's cool. But that's not what I want. I want. This is metadata, but that's not the same thing as the schema. There's remote schemas, but that's not the same thing. That's like a different schema. Oh, and Etsitsu, you got your Windows app working. And hello. That's great. Okay, so I can database schemas here. I can manage you, but I can't necessarily like print the schema out. Because if I could just say Hasura export the schema, that would be probably the best. But I don't think that I can. Okay, code exporter, that's not correct. History explorer is that thing on the left. Analyzes. Okay, so just tells me stuff about that. That's not really helpful. Okay, so that won't work. Hi. Hi. have to be slightly farther away from the mic because he doesn't like being really up close with it. We've been letting him outside on a harness, just so we can he can sort of like explore a little bit and get a little bit less bugs. Since you may disappear at any moment. Well, that's same thing for me. I'm running. My alarm went off for like the end of the stream, so probably need to head out of here as well. But let's see. I was hoping that I can get at least get the schema going. But I can't find you here. Okay, so we have this command. So introspect schema, we have the output. Was there any other? Not really. And the schema is printed to standard out. Okay, so I have that. Now, generate. So flags, I don't need those. Options. The module or custom scalar definitions are located. Deprecation strategy, module visibility. Schema path. Path to GraphQL schema file. I don't think that's what I want to do either. But maybe. So GraphQL client, CLI, is there more information I could find in here? Wait, oh, this is, oh, this is the C, okay, so CLI is part of this. Okay. Okay, so schema. Introspect schema does not work with header. I don't think that's our problem. Implicitly discover schema and queries? I don't think that's going to be it either. Okay, so we got ours to work, so that's not the problem. Okay, so this was, okay, that's not the same thing either. Do I want to generate or do I want to? The generate doesn't seem right, but I don't know. It's a mono repo, so the main use for it now is to download the schema.json from a GraphQL endpoint, which you can also do with the Apollo CLI. So we could potentially use the Apollo CLI. Now the introspect schema seemed to work fine. We could try this generate and just sort of see what happens. Okay, so if I do... We'll do this, and then that'll be sort of like the end of the stream. We'll just sort of see what this goes, and then I might have to do some search to figure things out over the weekend. That way, on Monday we can continue on and just get going with some queries. But okay, let's see. We have generate, no flags, options. I don't have any options, I don't think, except maybe output directory. The directory in which code will be outputted. I really want it to be like here. So I don't know if I need that at all. I might just do it right here anyways. Schema path. So query path. What is query path to the GraphQL query file? Okay, so this is queries to GraphQL, and then schema path. Oh yeah, that's the same problem. Okay, so our issue is getting this from Hasura. Okay, so issues. Is there a difference between okay, that's like a specific query. That's not a problem there. Oh, there's 3 closed. There's allowed the additional headers. We've got that. That's okay. I wonder if I do need to give it the application type headers. So let's try. So the introspect schema. Okay, so we have that. We'll add another header. This is content type. It's going to be application JSON. Oh, without the -h. Okay. Are you a little bit happier? So schema still looks like this. So that didn't change the way it looks at all. It still is this JSON document, which like it's supposed to be JSON, but it looks very different than that example. Yeah, it's just one gigantic object. I mean, these all, like, this looks like a proper typing system, but you're still very unhappy because the schema path equals this. Expected schema extend scalar type interface union or enum. So I wonder if or unexpected punctuator. I wonder if I can search for this. Unexpected punctuator, GraphQL, Hasura, and this is what? GraphQL client Rust. Great. See what people missing unexpected punctuator. That's a Python GraphQL. Okay, what if I just search for Hasura export schema? If you need to share, introspect, or export the GraphQL schema, you can use community tooling such as GraphQL, Apollo CLI, Get GraphQL schema, etc. Okay, so this one's from Prisma, Apollo, and then this is just... Oh, GraphQL is from Hasura. Okay, so I can just install you globally. Fine, we'll do that. To install GraphQL, okay. Okay. Then you can run the following commands to download the GraphQL schema. If Hasura GraphQL engine is running with an admin secret, then this is what we want to use. Okay. By default, it downloads the schema in GraphQL format. If you want it in JSON format, you can use an additional format JSON file. I think that's what we want. Okay, so if we add you in, so GQ. This is going to be localhost 8081 one GraphQL H. Okay, you're going to be keyboard cat. Introspect to schema GraphQL. Okay, great. So schema GraphQL. Hey, that looks a lot different. So schema GraphQL. Okay, different error now. Excellent. So now it's saying failed to generate GraphQL impl. The struct name does not match any defined operation in the query file. Struct name, list courses, defined operations, list courses. Okay, so you actually need to be this. There we go. There we go. Okay, so then don't have time to actually do this, unfortunately, but the idea would be our query would then be list courses build query or something like that. Yeah, build query, which would then get us this function takes 1 argument, but 0 arguments were supplied. I don't know what the variables look like. That specific query doesn't take any variables in. Expected struct variables. Okay, so I can create a new variables. So let variables equals variables. None. Oh, known. Well, okay. Well, we're gonna have to figure this out, and I'm gonna have to do that next time. But I'm gonna leave this as a big giant error here to sort of like let us know this is where we need to go, and this is gonna build the queries for us, and do all the fun stuff. So, with that, I'm sorry, everybody. We have to do an emergency stream shutdown because it's 8:30, and I have a meeting in like just a few minutes with my team, so I got to go do my day job. I'll be back on Sunday morning. We're gonna play Screeps Arena with Rust and WebAssembly. It's gonna be fun, and then we'll be back to this project on Monday morning. And I'll probably play around with this on my own during the weekend. So we'll see how far I get. So with that, have a great rest of your day. Have a great weekend, and see you next time. Bye.